And the stream is starting. Hello, everybody. Welcome to TubeBuddy Support live stream, Creator Community Edition. How's it going out there, everybody?
What's up, guys?
Hello. Happy to see some of y'all and those that are watching later as well. Welcome to the stream, Aga, Dimmy. How's it going, Billy? Prosperity Daniels. Gold Farmer!
What's up, Gold
Dallas. Dysphagia. Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome to TubeBuddy Support live stream for our Creator Community series. Today, we are going to be talking about what to avoid. More things to avoid. There's always things that we know we need to do, but sometimes we got to be reminded of the things we got to avoid. And that means that, well, there's quite a lot of things to avoid. But for now, we're going to talk about 5 ways to avoid getting penalized by YouTube. Specifically, getting limited visibility. Lately, I've been seeing, I don't know if you've been seeing Stanley and River, like when I'm looking through Twitter, I'm looking around, I always see posts with creators getting their channel taken down, or, or just even tickets in TubeBuddy Support where asking, hey, I'm not getting any traction, or my videos, I'm not getting any views where I used to. And sometimes that means that YouTube might have limited the visibility on either your channel or your video. And that sucks. That's not good for anybody. Unless you're posting stuff that you probably shouldn't be posting, which we'll talk about that a little bit. But so today we're going to talk about those, 5 ways to avoid doing with your SEO so that you're not getting penalized with limited visibility. And because sometimes some of these things you might be doing, you not even know about. So let's talk about those. But really quick, just, these YouTube penalties. I just want to talk about a few of them really before anything, just in case you haven't already known. And I didn't put a link in the description. I'm going to put it pretty soon. But make sure to read the terms and conditions. Make sure to read all those gotchas, because you don't want to get taken down. And that's one of the ways that YouTube will penalize you. Your content can be taken down. If you've gotten these already, it's getting strikes, demonetized, limited visibility, or outright suspended or terminated. And there are things you can do to avoid that. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, Stanley. Have any of those ever happened to you? Have you ever been struck down by the YouTube god in the celestial lands of the interwebs?
First off, yes, I have. I have run into that. I've seen it with other channels, in particular, like the really bad ones. But I will say, the real conversation with a lot of this isn't so much like YouTube being this big bagged entity that's going to be mean and do mean things. That's kind of like the common perception is that, if you mess up, then YouTube's going to punish you. And I'm not a big fan of that approach to that idea. What it is that there are things like mainly 99% of this, and Aga, this is to your question in particular. So 99.9% of the time, this limited visibility, it's not that YouTube is punishing you. It's that there are things you can do to increase your visibility. There are things that you can do to get in front of more people and to get your content shown. And if you don't do that right, then you are not kind of catering to the system, and you're just not going to get quite as many views. That I mean, that can make a big difference. It can make a minor difference. It's not the whole like shadow ban thing that people think it is, and it's not the same as it was 2 or 3 years ago now. It is a different system. In particular, like when you're looking at being demonetized, like people, that's a big scary word. Like, oh I'm going to be demonetized, and that means I'm going to get taken down. And that's not the case. Most of the time, those things that people worry about are limited ads. Like, and yeah, Aga, YouTube will tell you if there's any issues with your ad stuff. They'll give you the yellow check mark instead of the green check mark for ads, which means you get limited ads on your content. They are not going to reduce the amount of impressions you get, just because they don't make as much money off of you. They make plenty of money with even limited run ads. So it's not quite the same on that. I've had the limited ads thing put on some videos. I've had the copyright stuff hit some videos. Sometimes it was wrong. Sometimes they were right about it. I didn't let it affect, like the way that I make my content. It's just the way that it goes sometimes. And it's a different thing now because of the creator music. Even the copyright stuff is a different ball game now, and it will be a different ball game 2 years from now than even what we're seeing right now. So it's like some of that stuff is a little sensationalized.
Yeah. And I can imagine it's not, it's not a good feeling, or it can be scary when you see something like a strike or something, just like, YouTube has done something to your stuff. And that's, what do you do? Well, one, there's things you can do if that happens, and we'll talk about some of those things. But, and actually, before kind of talk about some of these, specific SEO things, like I want to kind of bring in some of that focus on, like, because there's so many things. If you go to the guidelines and you read there, every content creator, if you're making stuff on YouTube, make sure you're familiar with those. But when it comes to just SEO, there are things to avoid when it comes to that. And by the way, everybody, I forgot to do this. If you're just tuning in, or if you don't know us already, I'm Josh from TubeBuddy Support. Help out in a lot of different areas, including education. We have Stanley, community, Stanley. And we have River as well in TV support. If you've ever sent in a ticket, they've been there helping you, and also behind the scenes on taking care of a lot of the bigger issues and making sure we get things fixed up and rolling as fast as we can. But here are the 5 things to avoid. And one of the big ones, and I'm bringing some of these up because I've seen a lot of these in our tickets. I've seen a lot of these in some training sessions that I've been in. And it's a question I get more often than not is, how many keywords do you add in the title, descriptions, and tags? And the word for that is, what to avoid here is keyword stuffing. If you've joined, our streams on Discord and, some videos out there, the term keyword stuffing. And what that is exactly, it's overusing your keywords. It's just throwing in a bunch of keywords in your titles and filling up your descriptions so much, including just tags, with either irrelevant information or just so much without using them naturally, or more importantly, sparingly. Keyword stuffing can really have a negative impact on your video. For example, you have a video you've uploaded, and then there's a specific topic that your video is about, and you've got 4 or 5 paragraphs of information going in there, and a lot of it might not be relevant. And that ultimately, in the end, will negatively impact, because one, YouTube is going to have a harder time understanding what this video is about if you have just so much stuff. so much stuffing, or more importantly, just all this irrelevant information, trying to pull in everybody everywhere all at once, it's just going to be a traffic jam. And then that performance of the video is going to indicate to YouTube, all right, that this isn't working smoothly. You're trying to drive a submarine or a giant cruise ship through a 2-lane freeway, and it's blocking, it's just creating havoc. River, when it, for you, like when you see videos or something, and being a writer, would you agree that, just too much information could be jarring? Or like, how would you, when you're looking at videos, how do you feel when you're looking at a video and you see some that are nice and concise versus some that it's like essays or a book?
Yeah, I guess one thing that I think about and what I see a lot is that oftentimes when people keyword stuff, they also are stuffing for like tags and keywords that they're definitely, one, irrelevant, which, like you said, is not great, because then if your video has nothing to do with this tag and this keyword that you're relating it to, the algorithm's not going to take kindly to that. But also, I oftentimes see people keyword stuffing tags that they're just not going to be able to gain authority on. So what is the point? You definitely need to be utilizing tools like Keyword Explorer and seeing which tags are going to be specific to your and relevant to your video, and ones that you do have a better chance, or your channel does have a better chance at gaining authority on, before you can get to those big ones, that just the short tail ones that people kind of go after. I think that's one of the things that I see the most too, is that you're not, people are stuffing these tags that they're not going to rank for.
Yeah. Stanley, like, do you have some, wise words of advice here when it comes to keyword stuffing? Like, for example, should I maybe have an English description and then right under that have several different languages of those descriptions all in the same description? Should I talk about my pets as well?
Yeah. I can only add on to the things you guys already say, because you already nailed it with this. Think about it like this. You're making a video, and Mr. Beast says that, like, the smartest thing you can do is replace the word algorithm with audience. To quit worrying about what's going on is, if you are stuffing keywords into your thing, if you are thinking like, okay, I made this video about this thing and I want to get out in front of as many people as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cater the metadata in this video to like these 17 different topics, so that I can get out in front of 17 different groups of people, and I get 17 times more views because YouTube's going to share it. That's not how that works. You need to, if you have 17 different ideas on 17 different metadata things that you're focused on, then you need to make 17 videos. You probably need to make 34 videos, 2 on each. And that's great. You got all that content to make, but with each video, take it down a notch. Like, calm down, cater your video towards that one topic, that one thing that people that's underserved, that the audience is looking for. You make your video about that one thing. You cater it to that one specific topic for the purposes of that specific audience. And then with the metadata stuff, you make it simple for YouTube to understand who this thing needs to get shared out to.
Yeah. And, as much as I would love to, maybe after this stream, to, add a bit more information to the description about some of the things we're talking about, and also about how cool River's background is. Yeah. And also describe the stars behind us in the screen. Like, it's sure, it's on the video, but is it relevant? And then, what am I really accomplishing here? Maybe I should do that exactly. if I really like that background, I'm gonna do a separate video. Like, here are backgrounds that you can use in your next live streams that really bring out some audience engagement. Stuff like that. But yeah, and then, but there's also, kind of on that topic a little bit, kind of brings me to the second point, second thing to avoid. So we got one, keyword stuffing. Don't do it. Watch it. Be cognizant of it. And as I always say, be intentional, be deliberate. But that kind of is piggybacking off that into my second thing to avoid, which is clickbait. Because now you got misleading metadata, misleading titles and descriptions.
Yep.
Don't use that to attract clicks. Like, being able to accurately reflect the content of the video, making sure titles and descriptions are relevant, is big. When you have clickbait, hey, maybe you're not keyword stuffing, but if you're using the wrong keyword or the wrong information to just clickbait, somebody's going to go in. What's going to happen? What's going to happen is YouTube algorithm is going to be like, hey, people showed up and then they bounced, or maybe did engage and said, this is not at all what this video is about. Stop doing it. And over time, YouTube will, algorithm will see that people are leaving. Just naturally, it's not getting pushed out anymore. It's not getting pushed through search. It's not getting pushed through recommendations. It's just seeing that, hey, people show up and leave, and it's not great. That leads to limited visibility. You're limiting your ability to be seen, to be discovered, to pass on whatever great value, great information, entertainment, whatever it is you're offering to so many others because of that. Hey, Mr. Beast is in here, but not really. Unless we're all in cosplay as Mr. Beast. I don't know. But still, those kind of things it's misleading. And that's enough to merit, a kind of penalty where your visibility is gone. How often have any of you, both of you, River, Stanley, everyone in chat, have found a video that wasn't really related to what you were looking for, or kind of tricked you in a way to watch it?
No, that happens.
Like,
River.
Well, I was just gonna say I actually don't really come across them a lot because
Really?
I think that because I think that they're not coming up on my search because I don't think that, again, because they probably have limited visibility, unless I don't know. I guess the only time I see them, I suppose, are when I look at people's channels who are writing into us, and wondering why are my videos not being seen. That's probably the only time I see them, really.
So what you're saying is that no one's been able to trick you yet.
Yeah. Or that their viewing habits are on such another level of class. The content that River is watching is on such a high level that there's no clickbait there.
Maybe there's something to that in the sense of I watch a lot of music videos on YouTube, and I watch a lot of analytical videos of people kind of explaining things. So yeah, I don't know.
Real quick, a little bit different tangent here, but a question in the chat, and I think this is pertinent, but it's important. Talking about things that are going to cause limited visibility and things like that. So Aga is saying you're just going to get hate in response to one of our earlier conversation. You're just going to get hate and dislikes, and it'll stop getting recommended. And I made the point of saying dislikes mean absolutely nothing to your channel. In fact, dislikes are positive engagement for your channel. Aga was asking about that, so I'd like to touch on that for just a second.
Yeah,
because
that's a good one.
It is. And Aga says, and this is the common belief, Aga says, wait, dislikes make it so that the video goes down in search recommendations, and it absolutely does not do that. That is not what dislikes are for. Dislikes,
100%.
the way that works is if I dislike a video, that is me as the viewer telling YouTube, I no longer want to view that either that style of video or content from that creator. That doesn't mean that your content is bad. If you want to test this, look up the most disliked video on YouTube, and you will see that video, it's I forget which one it is, but it was YouTube Rewind back in like 2019 or something like that. And guess what? That video to this day still ranks top 5 for all of its search stuff. The most disliked video on YouTube still ranks for all of its terms because the dislikes don't hurt the video.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a disproportionate amount of dislikes to likes, if you have 10,000 dislikes and 35 likes, that may bring some things into play that will change that. That might be a different impact. But just having dislikes only acts as engagement on your video, and that is a positive thing. You do not need to worry at all about dislikes.
Like,
yeah, and don't be afraid of those dislikes. Like, you know,
yep.
If you're getting them good. Like, I was proud to see my first dislike on a video. That was an endearing moment for me. I was like, oh, someone didn't like it. That's so sweet. They took the time to let me know how nice and transparent of them.
I mean, I feel like that's just something you have to accept, though, that, you know, on some level, that there are people that just are not going to like your content or what you're doing, but that's okay.
Yep.
You know
what's funny about it? I find this, I look at my dislike ratio, like I look at that probably literally once every 3 years. I looked at it jokingly like 2 or 3 days ago, and have not looked at dislikes in years. And I noticed this trend where I've been playing with shorts videos a lot recently, just to kind of bump my numbers up and whatever. So with all of these shorts videos, what I noticed is now all of a sudden I'm starting to get a lot of dislikes on them. I don't disagree. I'm not the biggest fan of shorts videos, but you know, I'm making them like decent. I'm putting a lot of work into them. I'm making them unique, and I'm getting all these dislikes on them. And it's like when I post it, I get 1 dislike on every single shorts video, and I'm posting them like almost daily right now. I don't get those on my long form content. I don't get them on my live streams. Just on those shorts videos, I get that 1. Like every single time I post it, I immediately get this dislike. Look at what that viewer is doing. They are literally on YouTube waiting for me to post a video. Then they are going and tracking it down to find it and tell YouTube, don't share this video to me anymore. Like, how ridiculous is that? But they're always going and looking for it.
And that's
like,
it's too good.
To me.
I was
just gonna say, it reminds me of how, like, the idea of, you know, there's no such thing as bad publicity, because any kind of publicity is going to give you, you know, exposure and visibility.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you know, despite it all, it's engagement still, and that's good. Like, we want people to have a reaction of some kind. You don't want to go out and post, you know, terrible things just to do, you know, just to get that kind of reaction. And kind of on that topic, actually, is the third, the third thing to avoid is posting bad content. But and there's different definitions here of bad content. That's like posting duplicated content, like copying just outright somebody's video and then throwing it as your own, or posting content that is hateful, discriminating, or even on the lighter side of it all, poor quality. Like if
Yeah.
you're uploading a video, poor quality, poor audio quality, poor editing, just to get thumbs down or something, you know, that kind of engagement, it's not going to help. And that poorly edited content, or just any of these, you know, duplicated, hateful, whatever it is, these kinds of bad content is going to affect you. And it's going to, one, definitely going to, you know, limit visibility. But two, it could lead to even worse. It could lead to being taken down. Content takedown, or ultimately your channel being completely suspended or terminated. And luckily, I mean, it's really hard to tell. It's hard to tell from, as a viewer, at least, you know, did somebody copy this? Sometimes you might be able to tell because you can just see even the profile, you know, the channel image, whatever their profile image is just bad. There's no information. Everything's just really like copy pasted stuff in there. And those are kind of easy to avoid. So luckily I haven't run into, or at least I didn't, you know if they hid that so well. But that stuff you want to avoid. And part of that is, you know, we've said before, you know, post a lot of stuff. If you're just getting started with content creation, you know, post. You want to, you know, get stuff out there.
Experiment.
At the same time, you know, there's something you can always do with video. If you're, you know, before you're going to post, there's quick things you can edit. There are quick things that you can try to do just to improve what you have. And versus, you know, 360p video, audio you can't even hear, and just really disastrous media being flung at your face. So always still, you know, post, but keep in mind, try, you know, get the best quality that you can. Record the best quality you can. Use your phone, and maybe do a few edits here and there. There's quite a bit of people, you know, one I'm going to bring up later, you know, we've all seen him around, TubeBuddy, Daniel Batal. He has great stuff. He has great content especially now with learning some video editing skills, some really easy video editing skills. If you haven't, you know, worked on any editing or looked at any editing videos, check them out. Those are good. And there's great tips and pointers there when it comes to uploading some stuff. Like what, Stanley, your first time uploading a video, tell me about the camera you used, and did you bother to edit? Like, what was your first video even like? And did it get you demonetized?
Yeah, I think it did get demonetized because I didn't know what the rules were. My first video was back in like 2007, 2008, or something like 2009, somewhere in there. And it wasn't on this channel. It was on a completely different channel. I think I probably did like maybe 6 videos that were fairly well done, like for what I had. But it was filmed with a cell phone in 2009. So we're talking 480.
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe, you know?
Whoa.
And I filmed it like we actually did one.
Dislike.
Yeah, we did one. God, like it was right on. So I don't remember which one was first, but my brother and I did one. We did a film festival, and we thought we were going to be all cool and like try to do things different. Like we were going to be edgy. So we filmed a video using only cell phones, and we used like 5 different cell phones. But then we edited it all because you couldn't edit on a cell phone back then. And again, it's also like 480p and like, I don't know, like 8 FPS or whatever stupid phones were back then. But the editing, we used Windows Movie Maker, like 2006 version of Movie Maker.
Wow.
And we had to edit that video. Like for one, the codecs was beyond a nightmare. Figuring out the codecs for all of those stupid phones.
Oh.
And then on top of that, because of like how the whole thing turned out when in the filming process, we had to edit that video frame by frame. Like
Wow.
every single frame of, luckily it was only 8 FPS, but literally like every single frame of that thing had to be edited individually. It was insane.
I would love to see a video of somebody screen capturing their old Nokia screen. Those little tiny, like, gray and black, like, pixelated,
Yeah.
like you're playing on a sand toy. Top quality right there. That's what we're looking for. But yeah, anyway, so it's kind of, to maximize our time here, almost getting close to it. I have two more really quick to talk about, but just quick recap. One, avoid keyword stuffing with your SEO. Like, this is all things to avoid with your SEO. One of them, keyword stuffing. Second, clickbait. Nobody likes that stuff. Third, just bad content, whether you're just copying, it's hateful, discriminating, or poor video and audio quality. It's going to limit visibility. But along with that, and still kind of on the topic that we're on, is, ignoring engagement. I think that if you are ignoring engagement, like, that's a behavior to avoid, because one, you're missing out on so many opportunities. But what's going to limit visibility from ignoring just engagement and engagement metrics, is lower watch time, fewer likes, dislikes. And what happens is that limited visibility, or that video, is going to have limited visibility in search results and recommendations, because it's just getting ignored. And again, we've been talking about YouTube wants to see that action. YouTube wants to see, where's the party? And let's get everybody into that party. Kind of thing. And it's easy to do. I think, as for new creators, there's so much going on. And I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot, River, like when they're, for your aerial, and there could be so much to do. There could be a lot going on, including having a job on the side. And then this, but when it comes to engagement, like, what are your thoughts about that? And how do you think about engaging on your channel, even when you have limited amount of time? Just like, do you try your best to go after, to talk to everybody? Have you seen people reply to you because of that? Or even connect with you in future videos? What has that been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I love talking. I mean, obviously I'm passionate about aerial. That's why I have a channel dedicated to my journey in that space. But I love when people, comment, or I get some questions, like technical questions of, oh, how did you get into that wrap? How did you get into that drop? And I'm happy to share, what I'm doing. And it, like you said, gives me an idea for future content of, like, I've now kind of realized, as I told you the other day, that I have realized that, from posting a lot of different kind of aerial content, that people are really enjoying the cringe humor videos of mine. So those are the ones that have the most engagement. It's really funny because they're the ones where people are talking the most. So that gives me feedback, compared to the other content that I'm making. So it's helpful in guiding me to figuring out kind of my voice in making this channel.
Do you think you would have discovered that if you ignored all the engagement?
I don't think so. Definitely no. Because I think that, I think about when I'm viewing someone's channel and, engaging, and, it just feels really nice if you ask a question, or if you put a, if you put in a thoughtful comment, and the creator responds to you, it just, I don't know, makes you really feel connected. And, I also just, as we've talked about before in the streams, it's important to kind of build a community with your channel.
Yeah. I mean, look at Stanley. Both of you, in chat, we're talking to you, everybody that's watching all at once. We're like, what if we just ignored it?
Dude, I have done 500 videos. Now, some of the, that's inflated because of shorts, of course. I think I'm like 386 VODs and live streams. Over 5,000 subscribers, been doing this for 5 years. I have answered every single comment on my channel. And I think like a year or two ago, I did a count of it, and I did something to the effect of like, and this was literally like, this was 2 years ago now. I want to say I answered 50,000, or I replied to 50,000 conversations.
Wow.
That was like 20,000 comments on YouTube, and then social media engagement, stuff like that. And that's not that outstanding because everybody's doing social media. So people doing 150 or 200, replies and stuff like that on social media these days is not that big of a deal. But understand that, like, if you're putting that much time and engagement into Facebook or Twitter or those sorts of things, it would behoove you to put that time and attention into answering the comments that you get on your YouTube video. That engagement is it wins points for you with viewers. You need to do it.
Yeah. It's avoid ignoring the engagement. If you're somebody that's watching right now that maybe also there's a lot going on. I get it. I totally get it. I've said this in a previous live stream, and I'll say it again. Like, one of the things I've discovered after several of our live streams, there's someone from our community, Wise Guy, that was saying, "Hey, where are the keyword, or where are the chapters? Add the chapters. I want to come back and easily find this stuff." And that's it was true, and something that I wasn't intentionally ignoring, but it was difficult, just to get to everything. And if I continued to ignore everything, I wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have discovered that, or at some point maybe later. But I'd be missing out on so much improvement. I'd be missing out, and really on the most important piece of this all is connecting with you, is connecting with the community, is so that we're doing something that is worth your time, respecting your time. I find it would be a lack thereof of respect to completely ignore the people that are building and supporting you, which ultimately leads to, if we ignore engagement, leads to limited visibility, leads to just you're limiting yourself from really being more discoverable to so many other people. I love how the chat is just rolling. Hi, Renee. All right. And then just one more. And I don't think anybody here is doing it, but for anybody that ends up watching this video and does this, I'm telling you now, avoid spammy behavior. Spammy stuff. The kind of stuff where you're just posting galore, inappropriate stuff, or sub for sub, like for like, all this stuff. It's not gonna help, and at some point YouTube will catch you, and it will take your channel, take where you're from, and limited visibility, because it's creating a negative experience, and that negative experience isn't really great. Which, if you do experience any of this stuff, by the way, on TubeBuddy we have a tool where you can delete comments from a specific user and get rid of all that stuff all at once. Luckily,
and don't let them get to you either. Just delete them, get rid of them. Negative comments, it affects so many people. It gets into their head. It has mental health. It is not worth it. They do not get to have that. That is your property, not theirs. You get to delete that, get rid of them. I get animated on that one. Do not let someone like that. Don't let these armchair quarterbacks sit here and dictate you and your channel. That's total BS. Just get rid of it. Don't even give them the time of day.
Exactly. And like, especially, I don't know, anyone in chat, have you seen any spammy or any kind of that kind of interaction on your channel yet? And just not for everyone else, but as a creator, how does that make you feel? And if anything, how much time does it take away from from your day to keep doing the stuff that you need to do to kind of search for these comments or get rid of them? Or at the same time, just, as Stanley is saying, how many times maybe has it gotten to you?
You know what? I'm sorry, I'm butting back in on this one, Josh. I'm sorry.
Back in.
Give me just a second.
Back in.
It's like the dislike button. It's the exact same thing. When you get these negative comments, you take it personally. You look at the actual comment and you try to read the content or the meaning or whatever behind that comment, and that's just dumb. Don't put any time into what that person is actually saying, because there's just so much like that's so stupid. But what you need to do is be looking at that comment, and you can like take a breath of relief and be like, I have made it. I am officially a YouTuber. I have gotten to the point. I am so successful at what I am doing. I am so good at what I am doing that somebody felt the need to try to knock me down a peg. Okay, that means you're up somewhere to where somebody down over here feels like they're trying to drag you back down to their level, because that's what they're doing. Don't let them do that. Don't let them get into your head. Get rid of that comment, but then you can also kind of kick back and be like, yeah, this is part of the YouTube thing. This is part of the life, and I have made it to that next level.
that one. I've earned a badge. Yeah. I've been deemed worthy of the spam comment.
They need to have a milestone they can hand out for like that first troll. There needs to be one.
Maybe TubeBuddy can work on a milestone for that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a little rough, but wise and encouraging to remember that, because it can do that really easily, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And ultimately, if you want to keep pushing your channel out, if you want to have a good relationship with YouTube, you don't want to be going out causing havoc, or making it difficult. It's just not going to be good for you, especially if you're trying to grow. Goth Farmer, I've had some bad interaction when it comes to handling my rabbit babies. They end up apologizing. Wow! That's actually pretty... Wait, are we calling spammers rabbit babies? Or did I miss...
No.
yeah, that's exactly what we're going to start doing. That's what I'm going to call them. Rabbit babies. That's so off the wall, and so just like it's iconic in just how people are gonna be like, what does that mean? What is it about rabbit babies where's the negative connotation in that? They're gonna be like Googling it, they're gonna be trying to figure it out. I love it.
Tip number 6 to avoid: don't be a rabbit baby. Right. That's going to be a chapter, and people are going to be, what?
Yeah.
That might be misleading. That could be a misleading title.
So start the chapter right now. And if you are just now tuning into this chapter and you don't know what rabbit babies are, scoot on back to the beginning, start over. You missed out on a conversation that you need to be a part of. Otherwise, you might just be a rabbit baby.
I'm gonna have to make a short video. Are you a rabbit baby? Do you do this and this and this? Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
Oh, she handles them when they're tiny, so they're used to her. That's what. Okay, to check their health. I got you.
All right. Well, those are the 5 things for today. The 5 mistakes to avoid when it comes to SEO. The 5 SEO mistakes to avoid. so that you're not getting penalized, so that you're not dealing with limited visibility. If you want all the visibility you can get, if you want to play nice with YouTube, avoid keyword stuffing, avoid clickbait, avoid bad content in all the ways so we've discussed. Go back to the chapter if you missed it. Avoid spammy behavior and avoid ignoring engagement. If you're doing some of these things, it's going to affect you. It's not going to be good. You don't want it. But let's say something happened. Let's say something terrible happened and it didn't need to happen. Again, I bring up Daniel Batal because, and I bring all this up because lately, as I've been digging around, just understanding what's going on, what is everyone dealing with, every single time I do, I always run into some tweet or some Reddit post somewhere where their channel was removed or they were, struck down by YouTube guidelines or whatever it was. But if it ever does happen, I'm going to update the description with some of these links. But go check out Daniel Batal. He has a tweet recently where, he has 4 important pieces of information to always have. If you have a channel, if you're a creator, which I imagine all of us are, save to the side. Keep your YouTube channel ID somewhere. If you don't know what it is, let's say if you accidentally, or you're big enough, or you have your tag, or actually I think all of us can, but if you don't already know it, you should be able to find it on YouTube. You can use TubeBuddy Channelytics to look it up as well. You could also, the other thing you want to jot down is the day, month, and year you created your YouTube channel, the primary email address associated with your YouTube channel, and if you have a static IP address, grab that down or try to look at any dynamic IP addresses you've had in the past. It's good information to keep on the side in case anything ever happens and it wasn't your fault for whatever other reason. Having that information is going to help you have all that. And Daniel Batal has a lot more information about it. Go check him out. I'll have links in the description after this. And I hope that these 5 tips have helped. If not, you already knew. It's a refresher. If anything, a good conversation. And we learned about rabbit babies today. The latest and greatest in YouTube. And what you ultimately, always, forever need to avoid being. Don't be a rabbit baby. I want to look at chat really quick. That's good. 500. Yep. Full, as Stanley says, full 500 characters for your tags. Not a problem. Just don't keyword stuff. Don't make sure it's relevant. Make it, it's got to be relevant to the video. Do my daily scrolling on YouTube Shorts every 2 hours? Okay, do you. I probably will scroll for more than 2 hours all at once. So I'm one to talk.
I try to spend more time working on content than watching. That's kind of like a personal rule.
Always.
I aim for that as well. Yeah.
I attempt to aim for that. It is a life. Yeah. It really is a life. Well, anyways, with that said, thanks everybody. I think we're going to call it right there. Once again, my name is Josh, Stanley, River. Love seeing everybody. Love seeing you all. Please take care. Happy creating. Avoid these SEO mistakes. And if you have questions about SEO, just let us know. You know how to reach out to us by going to support.tubebuddy.com or emailing us there or post it in the comments. If you like this, engage with a video. Hit like if you haven't already. Feel free to subscribe or whatever, Just have a good day, no matter what. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.